Greetings and welcome. So I'm in Tanoji at the moment at a Shinto temple, but there's too many people around the temple area, so I'm on the side to make this recording. Okay, so we're talking about power development in Wing Chun, and the first exercise we looked at how to open and close the core and drop the body, tighten the drum skin, and vibrate the connection through the drum skin. So this is your main exercise for connecting your structure. Now the next exercise is to loosen the joints. How do we get the joints nice and loose so that when we connect the structure we can get the energy to move as a wave? We want the energy to wave through the body. We want our mass to wave through the body, through the drum skin. If the drum skin's too tight, then it's not adjustable, changeable, and it's easily manipulated. So initially, yeah, it's very taut and you're connected. Now we loosen the joints and soften while maintaining connectivity. And this is what brings it from an external pure fascia tendon ligament power to an internal wave of force. So this next step from connecting mass is loosening the joints. And we can do this with each structure in Wing Chun, but the structure I'm going to take you through is just the center line punch. So what we do is we extend the mind out, we push the joint open. I want you to open the hand up, stretch all the fingers out, open the wrist, open the elbow, open the shoulder, and just push everything open. And I want you to push really hard for about 10 seconds, pushing the joints open. Open the spine, stretch, connect everything to your core, and just push from the core out. After about 10 seconds, I want you to first find a pole or something you can grab. Grab the pole, and then pull your wrist open. Hold the pole, pull your elbow open, pull your shoulder open, and pull your spine open by dropping your hip. Once you've grabbed that object and got the feeling of pulling all these joints open, stretch the hand out and use that same feeling of pulling, drop the hip, stretch the spine, and pull everything open. Pull, 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 pull. And then relax back into the vital energy. So this pushing the joints open and then pulling the joints open, it's going to create a stretch around your joints. And if you push really hard for 10 seconds each direction, it's going to ache. So what I want you to do is just give your joints a little bit of a shake. Vital breathe. If you have any loosening exercises that you like to do, do those loosening exercises. And then repeat. Stretch out. Put the mind out. Put the feeling of energy out. Stretch the finger joints open. Stretch your wrist, elbow, shoulder. Power stretch. 10 seconds pushing out. And then 10 seconds pulling the joints open. Instead of pushing the joints open, keep everything connected to your core. And then relax, shake everything off, vital breathing, drawing relaxation in and out of the joints. And if there's any loosening exercises you like to do, you can do those loosening exercises. If you've done a lot of boxing, boxers like to do these rotational exercises, rotating the arm. That's fully up to you. Whatever loosening angles you need to use to get your shoulder and your elbows and your wrist open, do those exercises. It doesn't actually matter as long as it's working for you. Okay, so we have the power stretch out, electric 10 seconds, magnetic 10 seconds, give your body a shake, vital breathing, recalibrate the feeling of life force. Now, you go through every structure. Put a Gansao out, power stretch out 10 seconds. Pull the joints open 10 seconds and then shake it off, vital breathe. Now when you vital breathe, you want to be vital breathing with a quality of relaxation. We have two types of vital energy breathing. Actually there's more, but two fundamental ideas. One is used for recovery and one is used for generation. Recovery, it's a lot softer tensile feeling in the body when you're doing the recovery type of vital breathing. It takes the tension off, allows the body to go in healing mode. When you're vital breathing to build power, there's a tensile stretch there, and you're opening everything up, and you're building the feeling of power and the vital force. Different quality, different feeling quality in the gym. So Once you've done the power stretch out, you've extended, you're vital breathing the whole time, then we go into this recovery mode where it's just nice and soft and you're loosening and you're shaking tension off and so forth. Okay, from there, to further loosen the joint, we do a throwing exercise. So we've done 10 or so repetitions on each shape. So you've done 10 through a punch, 10 through a pierce, 10 through a ganza, 10 through a tan, pack, bong, all your different shapes. I'm presuming you've already learnt Wing Chun, you already understand it, so I don't need to go through the individual shapes yet. We're just going to go through the principles, the energy principles, how to connect mass, how to get mass to move efficiently through the body. This is where we start. Okay, so you've gone through that. Next is to throw. So you loosen the joints. Now we want to do throwing. So what I want you to do is just take a futsal angle position, and then from there, just throw the fingers forward from the futsal and throw the tension out of the body. And this throwing, we're throwing energy away. We're just letting everything open and flop out. And if you're going from tan south throw, lan south throw, you can go through all the different throwing angles that you like. I like to do things from the futsal controlling position because of the chi sao, and you're going from a position of strength control to throwing outwards. We have an outward throw. Now we go to inward throw. So we extend the the arm out. Now there's two types of inward throwing. There's inward throw that starts at the same point. We throw and we pull back into the core. So I'm not throwing energy out, I'm throwing the energy into my core. So it's starting from here, it goes out, I throw energy back. The second type is I start on the out and I pull back slightly and I draw the energy into the core. Draw energy in. Draw energy in. So I'm pulling everything in. The outward, well they're both inward movements, but you throw the arm out and you pull back. This will give you a different type of connectivity to the inward throwing into your core. Now what this does is will bring your mass, this looseness, and the throwing energy out and bringing energy in. It'll get the mass to move very, very quickly while maintaining connectivity. You'll be connected in your mass. So when you throw from futsal out initially, you're just throwing tension out of your body. You're just getting the speed, and then pull back into your core. Pull back into the core. From there, pull the punch in, and then pull the energy into your core. And at the end of each movement, you want to have a feeling of being taut. Have the feeling of your body connecting through the drum skin at the end of each movement. And hold that tension there, and it's not muscular tension, it's stretch tension, for 1 to 3 seconds. And this energy memory of having your body connected at the moment where you need power, super important. If you don't teach your body to connect when you need power, you're simply not going to have power when you need it. It's pretty obvious. Alright, so these are loosening the joints and throwing apply to all the movements that you know. So whatever, if you're doing a knife hand strike, if you're doing an inside gun, whatever your technique is you want to use, practice expanding the joint from the center of the joint, pushing out, pulling the joint open from the periphery, throwing the movement to get rid of tension, throwing the movement to connect to core, and then pulling the movement back into core. And this will get your body highly connected. It'll get your mass starting to move around your body. Once you've done this without any stepping, you add stepping into it, and then you start incorporating stepping. The reason why I haven't gone into doing techniques on the first lesson, we're just working with principles at the moment, is the technique has to be input into your body through function. So what do I mean by this? If you do a line drill and you walk up and down the room throwing punches, you're teaching yourself to punch the air and miss a target. It's devoid of function. So when I teach you to do Pak-Sao, your first time you ever learn Pak-Sao is a punch is coming at your face and you put your hand in the way. Oh, okay, I've got to stop that punch. So the neurogenesis in your brain will correlate this application of, I do Pak-Sao when there's a punch coming to my face, from its birth. So each movement first has to be learnt with correct timing, with an attack coming at you, and then you apply the technique. From there, then we start applying the principle of refining that technique, connecting the mass, opening the joints, getting the core to vibrate and get power into that movement. But each movement in its application has to be learnt with an attack coming at you with perfect timing. If all you know is perfect timing, then your body is going to act in the correct way when it needs to. A punch comes in and you deal with it. But if you learn a movement from the beginning, punching in the air, there's no timing, there's no function, there's no application, and you're going to fail, you're going to get hit. So the one beautiful thing that Wing Chun's got is it trains timing unlike any other art I've ever seen. You have hundreds, if not thousands, of punches thrown at you every lesson, and you're having to get the perfect timing to deal with these punches. And that's a very unique thing in a martial arts training system. Most martial arts might have one punch come in and you do a counter. When you add up the repetition of how much timing training the person did, it's not much. They're not programming their subconscious to act in a perfectly timed fashion, because they don't get enough repetition in, and they don't get enough variability and change. Wing Chun offers a huge amount of variability and change with high repetition, and I haven't seen any other art train timing the way Wing Chun does. It's a bit of a gift. If you're in a school that does a lot of partner work where you're having punches thrown at you all the time, that's fantastic. If you're in a school where people are doing line drills walking up and down the room, well, that's a bit sad, because you're not really getting the benefit of what the pearls of Wing Chun are. So find a school where they're doing lots and lots of partner exercises, where you're getting lots of benefit from getting this perfect timing. So these initial lessons, I'm going through the energy principles, connecting structure and so forth, and then we'll move into partner work with a partner and working on the timing. Now, as you go through this learning process, even though I'm doing these videos in these short topics, the first 10 of these videos will all be covered in one lesson if in a class, because you do a certain amount on connecting your mass, you do a certain amount on loosening and throwing, you do a certain amount on unlocking your joints, you'd have a person pushing on the structure, and then you'd be doing 1-inch punch training, you'd be touching the wooden dummy, sinking underneath it, touching people, sinking underneath it, and then you'd have at least 30 minutes to an hour of sparring where a person's throwing a punch and you're just working on getting perfect timing. But they're throwing the punch in such a way that it invokes perfect timing out of you. And you stop at any point, correct your structure, and improve the technique. So this way of thinking and way of training, very different to your normal Wing Chun school. Okay, so we'll leave it there, and thank you for your attention, and we'll see you on the next video. Okay, bye.